Here are two pictures, one of the front of the house with the cherry laurels that the flippers had put in, two of which were pretty much dead, and then the rear of the house where there was not a lot going on. Right, here is a tour of Tim and Susanna's garden at 1540 First Street in Bethlehem, PA. Starting with out front, the flippers put in these floribunda roses. They look pretty good right now, but they're not my favorite species. In the back here, I tried ferns and they were not successful. But then this year I put in giant elephant ears, and this one is just starting to come up. So I'm thinking that this area will be filled with elephant ears, which will be nice. This is, what is this? Cherry laurel. And so these are looking really good. When we first got here, the flippers had put these in, and two of them were on death's door. These are the two cherry laurel that were on death's door, but Susanna was able to bring them back to life with careful watering. And then in terms of watering, what we've got going on here is we have a timer system. And so what this means is that for all the plants in the front and those on the is that the south side and a few in the back, they get automatically watered every day. For the other watering that we do, basically Susanna has about 4 different locations where she's able to connect her quick connect hose to take care of all the watering in the rear. Here, which is the south facing side of the house, there wasn't much happening, and so what I did was I added 3 what are those things, peonies, and first year they seem to have died, but they're coming back here, but it'll be a while before they'll start producing much. A neighbor gave me a pile of irises that had already bloomed, so I stuck them in here. Another neighbor gave me these exotic plants. Can't remember what they are, but they make these wonderful, really tall spear flowers. And then this is a climbing rose that I put in with a trellis. That'll be a while before that takes off. And then the neighbor also gave us several glads, which should come up soon. Here are 2 hybrid tea roses. So in the first year, I put in 2, one in each corner at the front of our property. And the second year, I put another 2 more. So we have a total of 4 hybrid tea roses. And as the years go by, eventually I'll have a whole line of hybrid tea roses going back to the fence in the rear. The garden is from free plants from other people. So here we have, this is Daylily Drive. So I have about 20 daylilies that I got from Layla when she was thinning out her garden. And then in here, I got another 20 or so. These are oriental lilies. Oriental lilies? Yeah. Asiatic lilies. And so they're starting to come up. They will be very fragrant. Here we have some more Asiatic lilies. And then in front of that, I've got my garlic ranch. So I put the garlic in last fall. So that should be very productive. So end of the summer, get a lot of garlic there. This is the star hydrangea that I got from Layla. It didn't work in her yard. I moved it to my front yard. It didn't work there either because it got full sun all day long. So I moved it to the place where it only gets morning sun and will not have any afternoon sun. First things we did was we put in a fence because we had our dog Maisie. There was no fence around the yard, and so we didn't want to get one of those kind of prison stockade fences like they have up there. We kind of like what the neighbor has over here, in that she has her yard is fenced by a hedge, but it's going to take too long to get that. So we also put in a shed. This is the 4th raised bed garden. So this one is for Susanna's zucchini and pickles. Back here is our chicken coop and run. So when we moved here, we had the chicken coop and a homemade run in Ewing, and we upgraded since we kind of doubled our living space. We decided to double the chickens' living space. So their run is about twice the size that it used to be. This is Ginger, who is our New Hampshire red, and our 2 lovely chickens are giving us about a dozen eggs a week. during the laying season. Here's a slate walkway I put in, and I just planted grass so it'll come up between the slates. Here are the azaleas I planted last year. So we have a red, a white, and a pink, and they're nice in that they bloom at different times. They're done blooming here. I've got my old bonsai, got my basil, I've got some cherry tomatoes in those pots. This is a trellis on which I've got, this is fall blooming clematis. So in the fall, that gets beautiful white flowers. The rest of my azaleas. Put in a maiden grass that grows up nice and big and kind of covers the AC condenser. In here I've got phlox, which I thought I had killed last year. They're coming back beautifully here, although one of them is looking a little yellow. I'm not sure what the deal is on that. And then we've got canna here, 2 canna that are coming back nicely. I dug them up so that they wouldn't freeze. Over here is the lettuce garden, and so that should come in nicely. And then here's the big raised bed garden that I built last year and was very successful. Over here we've got a grapevine. The raised bed garden, I had been used to gardening in a place that had too little sun, and then suddenly I had more than 12 hours of sun, so I ended up with so many tomatoes I had to learn to can tomatoes. So this garden now is dedicated to tomatoes, peppers. In here I've got what's coming up there. There will be broccoli and carrots. In here I've got some tomatoes, but I've also got some cilantro. And then over here is where there's going to be the greenhouse, but right now this is the grave of our dog Maisie. So I buried Maisie there, and that little troll there is a garden gnome playing a concertina. And then we've got 2 raised bed gardens for bamboo. So this is what's called clumping bamboo, and so put this in about a month or so ago, and 7 of the 8 plants are doing well. I got one here, we don't know if that one's going to survive. And then back here in the back are the ligularia that I got from Layla, and these are doing beautifully, except they don't want full sun, and they're getting full sun. So what that means is I have to kind of double up on the watering. And then back here are Favre arborvitae that we put in behind the chicken coop, sort of as a way to make it so that the neighbors in the back don't have to hear Ginger when she's making the racket that she's currently making.